It is OHS BBA Division I semifinal number 2 here from the campus of Pickerington Central High School, and it is for the second straight semifinal, a matchup between teams from the GCL South and the GWalk as the Centerville Elks take on the Elder Panthers. I'm Jason Griefer, joined by Richard Skinner. Great to have you here with us. If the matchup we're about to see comes anywhere close to the first semifinal, then we are in for a dandy as the Moeller Crusaders took out Beaver Creek in a 5-set thriller that Moeller saving one match point in the fifth in order to do it. Moeller won 16-14 in the fifth set, so Moeller is on to the championship, and we could see a rematch from a year ago if Elder is able to get past a very tough Centerville team. Elder at 26-1 on the year, winners of 25 in a row overall. They took out Dublin Jerome in straight sets in the quarters. Meanwhile, Centerville comes in 17-10 overall. They beat St. Ignatius in 4 sets. So Skinny, Elder comes in as the favorite, not only in this match, but overall in the tournament. They played very, very well yesterday, but this is a tough and gritty Centerville team that they're going to play for the second time this year.
Yeah, Centerville was really good defensively in its win over St. Ignatius yesterday, the 4-set victory. Not as much offensively. They're going to have to be much more efficient, much more highly effective offensively if they're going to beat Elder. I do think their defense at the net could pose a bit of a problem for Elder and maybe let them hang around.
And of course, Elder led by the 1-2 combination of Joey Bianco, first-team All-State setter, and the Division I State Player of the Year, Drew Mounty. And it's the best 1-2 combination in the state for sure. Centerville will counter with their own 1-2 punch of Parker Rings and Aiden Burley.
Yeah, Aiden Burley, also a first-team All-State selection. Parker Rings, the setter, but he also helps out defensively. And they are big at the net. He's 6'4". Burley goes 6'5". You've also got Zane Greenberger goes 6'5", and Brandon Mode at 6'4". Yesterday for Elder, I thought Bianco was the player of the day for them. Mounty did not have a great day, and I guess that tells you a lot about how deep Elder is as well when your best player and the player of the year in the state doesn't play his A game, and you still win comfortably in straight sets.
It was a total team effort for Elder, but yes, Bianco was the guy that really set things up. This is the second meeting of the year between these two. Elder won the first in straight sets, but it was a tight straight sets win, 23, 20, and 24. So I'm sure that has to give Centerville confidence knowing they can hang in with the number 1 team in the state. And also interesting, a little gamesmanship here, seeing Centerville come out for their warm-ups. Their colors are gold and black, but they're wearing purple t-shirts there. Maybe just a little subtle shot across the bow before the semifinal begins.
I think there's something to that. I mean, they certainly had the look of Elder, or at least poking the bear a little. And you know what? Sometimes you say don't poke the bear being the number 1 team in Elder. Sometimes maybe it's to your advantage to get in their head a little bit.
Elder will be on the left side of the court once things get rolling. They will be wearing the white jerseys here in this one, save for their libero, which will be Fred Harvey once again. And Centerville will be on the right side of the court wearing gold jerseys with black numbers, with the exception of their libero, Michael Phillip. And boy, we were really impressed with what we saw from Phillip on that back line from Centerville against St. Ignatius yesterday. And all the more impressive is that he is just a freshman, but looked very composed and played virtually everything as well as you could ask.
Yeah, especially on taking service. I mean, it's one thing to be able to play it. It's another to be able to play it nice and softly, get the bump to a set, to an attack, to a kill. He did that to a T. You factor in him in the back line with what they did on the front line. It's a formidable defense. I think that's how Centerville's going to have to win it.
And I think Centerville also will need to get more consistent contribution from Zane Greenberg. The big fella in the middle was up and down in his performance against St. Ignatius, and especially going in the middle against Elder, where Joey Bianco normally is. That's going to be a big factor in this one. If they can get consistent production, even 3 to 4 points per set from Greenberg, I think it would go a long way towards Centerville potentially knocking off Elder and moving on to the state championship. We are just about set here for the semifinal. The winner gets Moeller in the state championship. It's Elder and Centerville next from Pick Central High School.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Pickerington Central High School. The Executive Director and Board of Directors extend to each of you a cordial welcome to this Division I semifinal tournament game between the Elks of Centerville High School and the Panthers of Elder. been selected for their important role through a system approved by the Board of Directors, which includes involvement of coaches and athletic administrators of participating schools. Your officials for today: first referee, Richard Peck. Second referee, Mary Black. Line judge, Sterling Kaimoku. Line judge, Jeff Klein. The athletes, coaches, and officials are guests of Pickerington Central High School, and all fans are asked to respect the effort each of them has put forth in preparing for today's contest. We ask all attending to show courtesy and respect for fellow fans, officials, coaches, those administering the contest, and of course, your team and your opponent. And as important as always, please remember to respect the game. And now, let's meet our teams. First, the visitors on the scoreboard, the Elks of Centerville High School. Number 1, Jackson Stevenson. Number 2, Brayden Scott. Number 3, Grant Hafner. Number 4, Parker Ring. Number 5, Corey Holbrook. Number 6, Michael Phillips. Number 7, Kevin Whitehead. Number 8, Aiden Burley. Number 9, Brandon Moat. Number 10, Owen Waller. Number 11, Jacob Massey. Number 12, Kate Calhoun. Number 13, Cougar Bolden. Number 14, Alex Martin. Number 15, Zane Greenberg. And number 16, Tyler Sutton. Assistant coaches, Laura Ryan, Matt Onweiler, Ann House, Kate Ewing, Sarah Skaggs, and varsity head coach, Corey Burton. And now the home team on the scoreboard, the Panthers of Elder High School. Number 1, Drew Mounty. Number 2, James Bluesman. Number 3, David Bruin. Number 4, Sam Schwallen. Number 5, Henry Brand. Number 6, Brent Harvey. Number 7, Rudy Hoffmeyer. Number 8, David Maurer. Number 9, Luke Block. Number 10, Bradley Langer. Number 11, Joey Bianco. Number 12, Andrew Zimmer. Number 13, Jack Hutchell. Number 15, Will Luskin. Number 18, Luke Williams. Assistant coaches, Ben Luby, Joe Bianco, Matt Morin, Brian Jett.
Both teams about set for the semifinal. The winner gets Moeller in the championship later today. Big crowd on hand for both sides. Before the match gets underway, Richard Skinner has our officiating lineup.
Yeah, your chair referee, the up referee will be Richard Peck. The down referee to the top of your screen will be Mary Black. Sterling Kaimoku is the line judge on the near side to us, and on the far side, the line judge is Jeff Klein. Richard Peck and Mary Black will actually referee the Division I championship game. They'll reverse roles. Mary Black will be the up chair and Richard Peck will be the down chair.
Two of the best in the business in the state of Ohio, regardless of level, high school, college, what have you, and we are honored to have them here with us. And all of the officiating crews throughout this tournament have been spectacular. Fair play, calls.
We've had one overturn. I think we've had one overturn, right?
Yeah.
That was in the last match.
We had one replay of a point
right.
in a semifinal between Moeller and Beaver Creek, and
which I thought was a good call. I think we all agreed that was the right decision there too. So
got together and did the right thing. Moeller on the left side of your screen, Centerville on the right. For the second straight semifinal, it's the GCL South against the GWalk. Second meeting of the year between these two. Elder led by the State Coach of the Year, Sean Tierney. Centerville led by Corey Burge. And Corey and his staff all keeping the purple warm-up shirts on for this matchup.
That is an interesting look.
Sean Tierney, as usual, with his purple polo shirt on and nice slacks. We'll have to get a rotation here set up here for Elder in just a moment here. And so Mary Black trying to make sure everything's right, and she is one for the fine details and making sure everybody's following the proper procedures. So she gets things organized with Sean Tierney, and this semifinal about to commence.
Boy, the intensity of that last semifinal was something. Moeller and Beaver Creek.
Yeah, that's a high bar for these two teams to try to reach, but these two teams have the talent to do so. I don't think there's any question Elder is the perceived favorite going into this match, but that is a gritty Centerville team on the right side of our screen here that has played a very difficult schedule to get them ready exactly for a moment like this. And to our left, senior Sam Schwally of Elder with ball in hand to begin the second semifinal. Rings out wide in the first attempt for Corey Holbrook, goes wide.
That's what we saw from Centerville yesterday. They just were not very clean in their attack. A lot of their good stuff came from what they would do defensively.
Much more reliant upon their defense than the other teams remaining in this tournament. Rings going back. Holbrook will try it again. The roll to the back line kept alive by Fred Harvey. Mountie is blocked on his first attempt, but it sails wide, and Elder, I should say, with the first two.
Yeah, it's a tough front line to hit through. Parker Rings got up and got a piece, but got a piece out of play.
Phillip handles this one. Rings. Holbrook will try again, and he's 0 for 3.
Moeller hasn't had to do much for the points so far. Just get up and get one attack that was knocked out of play.
Centerville with a flat start. Rings trying to dump on the second. It's 4-0 in favor of Elder. And Corey Burge is not messing around any longer, and he's taking a timeout. 4 points into the match. Elder playing simple volleyball. Centerville, its own worst enemy right now. The Panthers off to a flying start. If there's any team in this tournament you don't want to get off to a slow start against, it's the #1 Elder Panthers. And so far, Skinny, Centerville just not getting themselves into this match.
Boy, Corey Burge just read Parker Rings the riot act as he was walking off the floor. We saw him try to turn and dump. We'll see that from Joey Bianco a bunch from Elder to the center.
Schwally to keep his serve run going. 50-50, Rings will set it back. Holbrook will try it again. Phillip keeps it alive. High set, Holbrook again, and again Holbrook misses.
Well, he is 0 for 3. I guess technically because of the block, 0 for 4 on attacks.
5-0 Elder. Holbrook will get another crack at it. Took something off. It's playable. Bianco, there you go.
There's the turn and dump. He's really good at it.
He sets the ball as well as anybody you will see at the high school level.
He'll also occasionally spike that if it's high enough.
You could have easily made the argument that he could have been co-state player of the year with his teammate
I love him.
Greenberg in the middle is blocked, and we have contact at the net against Greenberg, and Elder is running away and hiding here in the first set. The extra point makes it 7-0 Panthers. Phillips' ball's going over, and Mountie dumps it down. My goodness.
Yeah, that's a rare miss from Phillip. He's usually good, as we mentioned in the pregame, of bumping that forward, but he bumped it way too far.
Centerville has burned its second and final timeout of the first set. Elder steamrolling 8-0 in the opener. All Elder to start this semifinal. 8-0 in favor of the Panthers.
And they haven't had to do much offensively.
Phillip. When it's your start, it's your start. Schwally finding the corner, and Sean Tierney on the Elder sideline. Really, you can make the argument right now in this first set, he is already sensing the kill.
Wow, and they subbed out. They bring in Big Aiden Burley, a frontliner, to come in to replace Michael Phillip on that back line.
Here is Burley with the first touch. It's not a clean one. Holbrook has not gotten anything until now, and man, did Centerville need that badly.
I think Holbrook personally needed that badly after 3 misses.
Brandon Moat comes onto the front line for Centerville. Centerville has size all across the front line. That'll be an interesting challenge for Elder, but the Elks have dug themselves a ginormous hole in this first set, and Parker Rings now to serve. Bianco sets up Will Buskin.
What a perfect set. And credit to Buskin, too, because there's a great swing, but it all starts with the set, and there's nobody better than Joey Bianco. Nobody. Not in the D1 level.
That's a young man right there that should be in some All-American consideration, in my view.
I think he's great.
Will Buskin to serve, one of the tri-captains. That ball was going out. Holbrook played it anyway, played off a ceiling beam, and Elder can do no wrong in this first set.
Centerville may want to rethink those purple shirts. They've not brought them luck.
Or see if they can bring their timeouts from the next 2 sets forward to this one. Buskin, another missile. Moat's going to play it.
Great job to recover that, though, by Centerville.
But it sets up Bianco. He'll go with the left-hand spike.
That's what I told you. He'll occasionally not just turn and dump. He gets up with great elevation and spikes it straight down if he feels it's on a tee, and it was. He gives him so many options.
I don't think anybody in this gymnasium or watching on our air could have imagined this start, no matter who you're supporting. Buskin took a little off that time.
And that gets the libero, number 6, Fred Harvey, in that purple uniform, able to rotate in.
I think if you're Centerville, you can get going offensively. Aiden Burley has to make his presence felt.
Yeah, he's on the back line right now, number 8, first team All-Stater, but next rotation he'll rotate forward.
Bianco to Mountie. This is brutal efficiency from the Panthers. Quick, decisive, destructive.
And Centerville's helped them along as well. I mean, Elder can do just fine on its own when creating its own points.
Bianco can do that too. Tough play. Nice job by Whitehead just to get that over and inside the antenna. Mountie through.
I spend so much time focusing and talking about Bianco, Jason, that I do forget Drew Mountie's the state player of the year.
14-2 in this semifinal in the first set.
Yeah, Centerville they need a deep breath right here. Win the service back and try to win a couple service points and feel like you're back in at least into a normal match. This set's probably done.
Did not get over.
Nope.
I think if you're Centerville now, you're just trying to tell yourselves, at least on the sideline, as Corey Burgee is sitting down.
He's sitting down, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's already knows this set is in the books. But a situation to understand a stress to your team. There's still a long way to go in this.
Right. I think for him, it's a case of he's running a little bit hot at the moment. And why get on your team when you're right? You've still got some more sets to play ahead. Do we have a wrong rotation here?
Sean Tierney.
Yep.
Sean Tierney having a discussion with Mary Black.
Yeah, it has to do with the rotation.
Still waiting for some kind of signal one way or the other as to exactly what we have here.
No, it's going to go back to Centerville, it looks like. No, maybe not. Thought Bianco was rolling it that way.
Mary Black knows the rule book inside and out, and she is as fair as they come.
Well, there seemed to be some confusion. Remember when we started the match about that initial rotation, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and Centerville without any timeouts left, this gives them a chance to maybe collect their breath a little bit here, and just now Coach Burge is up and talking to them. And
interesting that Sean Tierney is having this long discussion in a set where his team is leading 14-2. If it's a tighter set, I could definitely understand a longer case here. And now Corey Burge is going to get the explanation from Mary Black as to what exactly the issue was here.
Well, they're not taking anybody off the floor for Elder at the moment in the rotation. Maybe it was a rotation on who was supposed to be serving. I honestly do not know the answer to this.
I'm still trying to sort this out here as to what the situation is.
Well, Centerville's going to get the serve back, so I'm assuming they're going to get a point out of this because they just made their own rotation as Michael Phillip brother came back in for Greenberg, and he's going to be serving it. So I'm going to guess 14-3.
Mary Black trying to explain things to the folks at the scorer's table, and hopefully we get an explanation over the
Well, if you're Elder, man, you had all this momentum, and now this place is just dead quiet.
The score has changed. It's showing 13-3. So the last point taken away from Elder and given to Centerville.
Right, right.
We're still waiting for the official declaration.
It has to be it's a rotation error. Right, because they took the point away, so. So now is the rotation correct?
Yeah, there must have been a rotation penalty here against Elder.
Yeah, that's clear.
And so it appears that a point has now been officially awarded to Centerville, and they also thus have serve. Michael Phillip to serve it after coming back in place of Greenberg. The score is correct at the bottom of your screen. Elder 13, Centerville 3. David Maurer has not been involved until now.
How about that running set, though, from Bianco? He was running away from where he set it to. And I won't say he put it on a tee, but he put it darn close from a tough angle. And so Bianco must not have been supposed to serve that last one. So now he's back there serving now.
Yeah, he served out of rotation.
Yep.
So 14-3. With Bianco now on serve, and he misses well wide on the near side. Grant Hapner in on the back line, coming in to serve for the Elks, replacing Brandon Moat.
And their first team All-Stater Aiden Burley, number 8, his second rotation in the front line.
Harvey off to the side, Bianco, the back set to Maurer. Good stab in the back line by Holbrook. Bianco goes forward to Schwally and gets the job done.
That was great patience by Schwally because he really bumped it back over, reset it to Bianco, who reset it to him. He didn't try to do anything fancy with it. He could have gone up and spiked it initially and chose not to. He chose to get a reset out of it.
Back to an 11-point lead for the Panthers. And Fred Harvey, the junior libero, on serve. Cross court set, and perfect position is Mountie in the back. Maurer on the right, just finding space. They are locating every hole perfectly, and ball placement for Elder thus far has been exquisite.
And you saw why Mauntie's the player of the year in the state. I mean, we've seen him at the front line. That time he's in the back line to dig one out. That is just a versatile player that you don't have to ever rotate out of the match.
Harvey from the near side. Going cross court, Phillip off the bicep. This is Whitehead, and into the net.
Well, that little stoppage of play that we had for the discussion of the rotation thought might take some momentum from Elder, and it obviously hasn't, Jason.
The floodgates are wide open for the Panthers. Phillip nearly from his backside. And another one that can't get over. Centerville was masterful in serve receive against St. Ignatius in the quarterfinals. And right now, even the basic ones, the Elks are having problems with.
This is a really frustrating first set for them.
Phillip into the middle, and now near side. Here's Burley, cut it too far. It is wide.
The one problem for them yesterday, as I mentioned in the 4-set win over St. Ignatius, they were not very crisp offensively in that match.
Defense and counter is how they won that against Ignatius. That is not going to always be able to work against Elder. Rings. Here is Burley. Blocked by Maurer, still alive. Good dig. Burley launches again. Was that tipped?
Nope.
No. 20-4 in favor of Elder.
That's got to be 8 or 9 hitting errors in this first set for Centerville, right?
Yes. Remember, Whitehead started 0 for 5.
Yeah.
Now he's on the back line. Holbrook struggling too.
Yeah.
Phillip is really struggling at that back line spot.
And that was what he was so good at yesterday. We talked about of handling service.
He was nearly flawless yesterday.
He was nearly flawless, you're right.
And right now playing like a freshman sometimes does. Just inconsistent today thus far. Rings to Burley on the roll. That never made it over. Wow.
If you're Corey Burge, you throw a white towel and say, let's go to set 2.
He's already there. He's not saying a word to his team. Still seated on the bench. Maybe we'll see during the set break the staff ditch those purple shirts. Yeah. Burley, no. Coverage for Elder when the opportunity.
Oh, my lands. What a set.
Wow. There's nothing more you can say at this point in the set. Just wow.
Bianco's playing with him.
We thought the Baden Rams played an exquisite match yesterday in the
And
D2 semifinal. This is a step above what we're seeing from Elder right now in this first set. Cross court, here is Whitehead. Phillip keeps it alive. Burley over. Free ball again. Where does Bianco go? Behind to Maurer. He baited Centerville and moving to the right that time. He was eyeing the far side, knew he was going backside. And unbelievably, Elder with 20 set points. 20.
Is that any good?
It's not bad.
Just checking.
Burley gets one to momentarily put a pause on the bleeding.
Well, and also it gives you maybe the belief of, all right, maybe we can hit through them now.
You've got to hang on to something as you head into the set break. It'll be Kevin Whitehead for the Elks with ball in hand, set point number 2. Mercy me. Set over. And the number 1 team in the state flexing their muscle and then some. Centerville with a world of regrouping to do and essentially a throwaway set in the first for the Elks. Elder wins the first 25-5. Now a message from USA Volleyball. Score on your screen is correct. Elder with destruction in the first over Centerville, 25-5. Skinny, I think from my mind, if you're the Centerville staff, you just got to tell your kids forget about that first set, but I don't know how you can in a matter of 3 minutes.
I don't either, but that's how you got to phrase it. Of listen, you just watched the match before. You guys came in and watched a team that was dead in the water 15 different times in Moeller and came back and won. We're just down a set. They still got to win 2 more off of us.
This is a tough and gritty Centerville team. 17-10 record on the season, but they have played as tough a schedule as anyone in the state. And so sometimes when that happens, you are going to take your lumps. But I'm sure the staff over there would tell you that those lumps they took in the regular season is what helped get them to this spot in this semifinal. Now they'll try and turn it around with Parker Rings to serve to begin the second set.
He just reads that perfectly every time. And he's just got such strong fingertips, strong hands that he sends it with force as well.
Buskin. Brings with the back set to the far side, and Corey Holbrook has been struggling from the left. He tries to go right. Elder has that answered as well. Two 2-0 in favor of the Panthers. Will Buskin once again. Rings to Burley.
Good. Ooh, nice dig.
Dig from David Gruen. Mountie. That's on David Gruen, the defensive specialist.
Absolutely.
To set that up. That dig was perfect coming from the strike from Aiden Burley.
Yeah, a rare quality strike from Centerville. Aiden Burley, I thought, put it in a great place, but Gruen able to dig it out and then turns it into a counter. Uh-oh.
Just going back over. They'll set it up completely for the player of the year in Ohio, and it is 4-0 Elder.
So much for the fresh start, right?
Ugh.
And there's no energy on that Centerville bench at the moment either.
They are in shock, and I can't blame them.
I agree with you.
Near side, cross court, Buskin is there. They have an answer for everything. Everything. And you can't help but your Centerville to think, here we go again.
Because here we go again. It was 9-0 to start set 1. It's at 5-0 and climbing right now.
Rings near side. Gruen another dig. Mountie.
Well, not only was the dig great, but then they quickly turned it into a counter with the set from Bianco and another timeout for Centerville. Wow,
31 of the first 36 points of the match to Elder. It's 6-0 Panthers in the second. Centerville wearing the purple shirts in warm-ups, and we talked about it, Skinny. You mentioned don't poke the bear. Well, the bear is alive, well, angry, and taking it out on the Centerville Elks.
Yeah, they're blocking things at the net defensively. They're countering when they need to counter. They're efficient offensively.
And for the struggle Centerville had offensively against Ignatius in the quarterfinal, their offense has been non-existent thus far in this match.
Defense hasn't been much better either, and that was what was so great yesterday. They were terrific defensively at the net. Yikes.
The pass from Rings just led Holbrook to the point of no man's land, and the punch is not close.
That's about all he could try to do with it, that or maybe just dunk it over. Man, that had some juice on it, didn't it?
That is effortless off the hand of Buskin.
Buskin, a second-team All-South Region performer, another timeout.
For the second straight set, Corey Burge over at Centerville has used both of his timeouts by the 8th point of the set, and Elder just keeps the beat going. Skinny, if you're on the Centerville sideline, what are you telling your kids right now?
I honestly don't know. I guess it's just a matter of, all right, how much pride do we have to not let this get ugly again? Because you're here in the semifinals for a reason. You're not a bad team, right? And you're not.
Yeah.
It's a good team. They earned their way to the semifinals.
It's a good team, a storied program. It's their 18th appearance in the semifinals.
But boy, they look deer in their headlight at the moment. I get it. Elder's done a lot of that to them.
Burley had to step sideways into that dig from Schwally, back over. Rings, the back set to Moat. Dug out again by Schwally. Bianco pushes it through. It's coming back. Bianco again, another 50-50. Another 50-50. Bianco goes for the hammer in the back line. It's sent back by Whitehead. It's the most energy we've seen from Centerville all day long, and they still cannot solve the Elder Panthers Rubik's Cube.
No, they played that point great, but those 3 50-50s at the net that all fell back to the Elder side to allow them to keep playing it the way they wanted to play it.
9-zip. Buskin misses wide, and so it is 9-0 starts for Elder in each of the first two sets.
Don't forget, Centerville got a point on the rotation error, too, in that last set. All right, this is where you need to get some kind of service run going just to build some confidence.
I think, if anything, just maybe 3 or 4 points at this point, just to force Elder to have to work.
Oh, my heavens.
It hit the antenna, but I think we also have a violation up front.
No, I think it actually went across. I think it hit.
They signaled.
I thought it hit Holbrook in the face.
I thought the official might have signaled Moat for a net violation.
Right.
In either case, it doesn't matter. And now Bianco on serve. Handled nicely. Here is Whitehead. Harvey with it going back over. Beautiful from Kevin Whitehead. And Centerville.
First time a little emotion. I get it because they haven't won a lot of points.
Take it where you can get it at this point.
Good play by Whitehead to finish that off.
I think if anything, if you could find a way to maybe get this back to 10-5 and start from there. But you cannot have another one and done on service.
No, that's right.
And Michael Phillip, after a long time on the bench, see if he's cooled down. This is playable. Whitehead had to step back, and Harvey won't get it.
2 in a row for Whitehead. That might be their first service point of the match. I think it is. That's incredible. 13 points deep into the second set. Ooh, that might have been going out. Oh, here's that defense.
Aiden Burley entering the picture as he rejects David Maurer at the Summit.
That's what got him going yesterday, was a Burley block in
Yeah.
that St. Ignatius match. That really ignited them. They were trailing in set one, and that changed everything around.
Bianco out wide. Maurer better
Oh,
that
nice
time.
play. Oh, that was a great play by Phillip, though.
Phillip at least to get that ball playable to Whitehead in some fashion, but still just a hair off. But at least something for Centerville to hang their hat on.
Both offensively and defensively.
And now the player of the year in Ohio, Drew Mounty on serve. Nicely handled. Rings quickly to Burley, pushes it to the back. Mounty there. Bianco with the back set. Long from Maurer.
All right, so you've chipped it. You said get it to 10-5. You got it to 11-5 on serve.
And Grant Hapner is a serve specialist.
Yep.
We'll spend some time on the back line as a defensive specialist, but can't have that. There is just no room for error.
None.
At this point.
Andrew Zimmer rotates out, and rotating to the front line again, Will Buskin.
And Fred Harvey to serve for the Panthers. 12-5, Elder in the lead. And into the net. Okay, so since the 9-0 Elder start, it's been 6-3 to Centerville.
With service in hand now, too, again.
Kevin Whitehead, who has had a couple of nice strikes here during this sign of life. Bianco just waiting, tees it up for David Maurer. He got himself set behind the ball as if he was going to shoot it back across court, but again puts it up behind the set. He backsets as well as anyone I've ever seen at this level.
By far.
And David Maurer, a senior tri-captain, trying to push the lead back to 8. Rings with the back set of his own to Burley. It'll be playable for Bianco, and back to Rings. Burley reloads and gets it done.
Good swing through by the big fella. 6'5" Aiden Burley, first team All-State selection. 299 kills on the season. He's going back to serve. He's also a good server, 42 aces.
David Gruen, the defensive specialist, back in for Elder, had a couple of very nice digs in his previous time on the floor. Bianco to Buskin straight away. Not much on it. This is very playable for Rings. Holbrook has had a slow start.
And violation against, it looks like, I think it's on Sam Schwally.
That's indeed the call there.
Now Sean Tierney just wanted, I think, know what number that was.
Like the toughness we're seeing here from Centerville.
I did too.
Didn't just lay down after that, falling into another 9-0 hole. It's been 8-4 Centerville since that start. Rotation violation against Elder as they were moving before the ball came over. And so a freebie now to Centerville. I think Bianco was moving before that ball arrived.
I think he was too. Well, I would tell you, he did fall on the play before that. He stumbled on the play where Schwally got caught for the net violation.
Yeah, he's arguing his case. That tells you right there who the guilty party was, Joey Bianco. So 13-9 is our score.
Yeah, scoreboard has 8, but it is 9.
And now Burley with a bad miss. 14-9 the score. And Schwally to serve.
Scoreboard itself is wrong. The scoring across the way.
And scoring on our monitor, though, is correct.
Right. Yeah, 14-9. I think that's what we're stopping for just a second to make sure they get the point they did.
Updated here in the gymnasium, so everybody here sees it. Steep serve from the right for Schwally. Rings down low. Gruen is there. Bianco sets it up for Mounty, and that hit the antenna.
Yep. That was just set a hair too far. Bianco keeps wiping his nose or his face. I don't know if he hurt it on that one where he stumbled to the ground, but that was a big one for Centerville to get the serve right back.
Parker Rings to serve it. How much ground Bianco covers, and that is a perfect set over to Mounty. Tough one here. Rolled over. Bianco with the left. Scramble and...
chance to get it over.
They will. Bianco again with the left and read beautifully by Holbrook. Ball still alive. Mounty blocked and out.
That was a great block by Brandon Moat. Both he, number 9 Moat, and 15 Zane Greenberg went up. Moat got a good piece of it, but he was so far outside that even blocking it straight, he blocked it out of play.
Will Buskin on serve. He was the man who had the first 9 points of this second set on serve. He has played very well today in all facets. Burley from the back, well long. And Centerville does not have a timeout to use. They used both of their timeouts by the 8th point in each of the first 2 sets. 6-point Panther lead. Blocked, sent back over. Good defense from Centerville. Blocked, but out. Too strong for Mountie.
How about the recounter to right to where Bianco was able to reset it for Mountie? They don't waste any time, man. They're ready to go right back into offensive mode as soon as they stop you.
Buskin misses into the middle of the net. Cannot recall at any point in this match that Centerville has even threatened to get Elder out of system.
Right.
Let alone in any kind of scramble.
Yeah, maybe just on those 50-50. That one play we had the 3 50-50 balls, but even then, not so much.
Bianco to Mountie. Had to push that one and missed it wide as the pass led him closer to the net than I think Mountie would have liked.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't go cross-court with that just because of the weird angle.
I thought with the way the ball was floating the net from the back on that Bianco was just going to go for the dump.
I did too.
Holbrook. Nice play by Schwally. Bianco sets up Mountie in perfect position that time. Another play where Moat and Greenberg are there, but they just are not able to control these blocks.
No, it's just such power that Mountie hits with that you really don't even have control. So, if guys don't hit it quite as hard, you can control the block a little bit better, but he's hitting it so darn hard, you're just happy to get a piece of it.
And now Bianco cuts it to the right and completely fools Centerville, and it's an ace. 19-12 in favor of Elder.
He is the Shohei Ohtani of volleyball. He can do just about everything.
Puts one into the net here. And like Shohei Ohtani, a rare error.
And Phillip going to rotate back into serve. He got on a couple of good service runs yesterday, and it's funny because he doesn't really have a big serve. Kind of sends a knuckleball across, but it allowed them to set their defense up, and that's when they scored off their defense a bunch.
Bianco out wide to Maurer, right down the pipe, and there is no coverage. They were anticipating the cut from Maurer, and he just went straight down the middle. I think if Centerville is going to try and put some fight back, as Michael Phillip needs to get going on the back line. When he has anchored things on the back line, this is a much different Centerville team. Rings set up to Moat, trying to push it over. It's blocked, kept alive. Near side, Burley with the roll. Bianco into the middle, and Zimmer almost went with a two-hand spike there, but a net violation called against Burley. 21-13 in favor of Elder. Phillip with a nice play off the serve. And Moat has to go safe. Mountie from the back. Centerville has no answers.
Well, part of it is, they've got outside hitters even when Mountie's on the back line that you got to protect against. You got Mountie from the back line, and oh, by the way, the setter will occasionally turn and dump it on you. It's just, I think it's extraordinarily hard to defend any of that. That's why they're 26-1.
Moat rejected by Sam Schwally at the Summit.
Boy, Moat looks really frustrated.
Ten-point lead for Elder. Just long. Not much on the miss from Mountie. Grant Hapner, the sophomore, now into serve for the Elks.
Yeah, we mentioned he's service specialist for the most part. He'll stick on the back line a little bit, but came in on his last rotation and hit it in the net.
Zimmer, off the chest of Hapner. How did he keep that alive? And now it hits the antenna.
See,
So,
all right? Man, he took that was a hard one.
Boy, and
I hope that hit his chest and not his face.
His team's checking on him. Elder had 20 set points in the first set. They have 10 here in set 2.
It'll be Fred Harvey to do the serving.
Hapner looks to be okay for the moment.
Yeah, I hope so.
What a shot he just took. Fred Harvey for set lead into the tape. Rushed himself there just a bit, and so set point number 2 for the Panthers. It'll be Kevin Whitehead of the Elks trying to stave it off. Bianco to Mountie. Set over. Set number 2. The beat goes on for the Elder Panthers. They roll again and are 1 set away from a rematch against Moeller in the state championship. Elder takes set 2, 25-15. Set number 3 about to begin. It has been all Elder from the start, racing out to 9-0 leads in each of the first 2 sets. Centerville at least showed a bit of life midway through the second set, but Elder flexed its muscle late to win it 25-15. And now set 3 commences. And I think it's going to be another situation for Centerville saying, I would say, just rip it now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they did, after it was 9-0, they were only outscored 16-14, so they pretty much played that to a standoff the rest of the set. Of course, you can't take the 9-0 lead out of the equation, but something to hang your hat on. And they did some better things. They did a couple of things at the net defensively, had a couple of good attacks. I've never seen more issues with rotations in my life.
And especially here in a semifinal this late into the season.
But
I guess it's better to get it set up now as opposed to inset and get penalized a point.
Yeah, that's what happened to Elder.
Didn't bother the Panthers, obviously, on the scoring column in any regard, but not a situation that you really should be seeing from either side at this point.
Now Centerville can ill afford the Avalanche. They need to get this first point, to be honest with you, and start feeling good about itself.
Well, and Centerville's actually made an adjustment here. We'll talk about it here as Burley puts the net. They have actually put the libero jersey on Kevin Whitehead and taken it off of Michael Phillip.
And that might have been the issue with the rotation to start the situation off with.
And I think that's a good move there from the Centerville coaching staff, as Phillip has just not had his A game here today.
And he was great yesterday.
He was. Here we go.
Deja vu all over again.
That's right. First 2 here to Elder. Rings setting it up. Burley had to wait on just a hair. Oh.
Yeah, was it touched?
It had to have been touched at the tape by Elder, because that ball was clearly wide.
Yeah, and it was. Not a great set there from Rings. Had to make Burley reach back over his head.
Rings now to Burley, cross court. Too long. 3-1 Panthers.
Boy, they've just really struggled with their hitting efficiency.
Will Buskin. And the 9-0 service run to start the set in the second, and now an ace here that just gobbles up Whitehead. It is hard to understand how difficult that is to play that ball with so much velocity and so much topspin coming right at you. 50-50. Elder wins it.
Well, that's the thing, too, Jason, is we see a lot of these guys with these powerful jump serves, right? But they're not very consistent for the most part. They maybe get one in and then one into the net, and the next one's long. Do. Elder's really consistent with these jump serves and with the velocity and spin. Oh, change up.
A little change up. Pulling the string, and Grant Hapner's slow to get up. I think he's still feeling the effects of that shot he took late in the second.
I wonder if he does too. Flexing his right knee.
Clutching that knee a little bit as he went down.
He's got a little sliding pad over top of it.
Corey Burge on the sideline for Centerville, talking to Hapner, but more of a strategic alignment. This one, finally, Burley just makes a good call going up the sideline. It's too much for Buskin.
Aiden Burley's powerful.
The opportunities have not been there for him, and when he's gotten clean strikes, Elder has had somebody there to try and challenge.
And for the first time, I think, this weekend, Cougar Boland, a senior, getting a chance to come in on the rotation to serve.
Burley blocked. Nice reach with the left from Holbrook. Burley has to go clean with the third. Bianco. Oh, he went for the right-hand spike that time. First time we've seen him try that with the right hand.
I was going to say, I've seen everything with the left hand when he's gone with the spike. Tries for the changeup, and it didn't work.
Trying to flex his full ambidextrous skill. And now a serve into the tape for Centerville, and it'll go into the hands of Bianco to serve, and David Maurer in on the front line for Elder, replacing Gruen.
That was nice that Cougar Boland got a chance to get in there. He's a senior and hasn't seen a whole lot of action this weekend.
Rings. Tees it up.
Perfect.
For Greenberg.
Best attack of the day right there. Made that look easy.
Yeah, I thought going into the match, Greenberg was going to have a big day, and that's the first time he's been involved in the offense. Centerville trails 7-4.
Boy, Harvey plays those serves well, doesn't he?
He does, and it sets up the player of the year.
You get Mountie up on a tee with that much elevation, it's almost impossible. And this is against, as I mentioned, a really good defensive front line.
The defense for Centerville is what's gotten him here to this semifinal. But 50-50.
Oh, that was a net violation.
Easily.
Yeah.
Parker Rings called for that, and no one for Elder jumped.
No, that was
almost baiting
yep.
Rings into that. 9-4 Panthers.
That's what's so hard about returning that serve, right? Is you're trying to just bump it as little as you can to give yourself an offensive attack, and it's just so much force. Even when you think you're just barely bumping it, it's going a long ways.
That Centerville coaching staff was going to call a timeout there as Corey Burge walked towards Mary Black, but thinks better of it and has a seat to talk with Grant Hapner. When it's your day, it's your day. An example right there from Mountie. Hits the tape, the front side of the tape, and still has enough force to crawl over. 11-4. And now
Bradley Lanter to rotate in.
And he'll take the place of Schwally up front.
Yep. Trying to get a few guys some reps here.
And also some of his key guys some rest.
Yeah, good call.
Ahead of the final later this afternoon. Off the tape again, Whitehead plays it clean. Oh. No communication between Moat and Holbrook on the near side. The pass was a tough one, kind of in that in-between spot, but nobody called for it. Rings with the back set. Here is Burley, well short.
And here goes the snowball effect again.
13-4. And it feels like just the lack of timeouts from Centerville is almost a waving of the white flag at this point. Mountie misses into the net.
Corey Burge is having a long discussion with Grant Hapner. It was a one-way discussion.
He was not looking at the floor for any of the last 4 points. He was relying on his assistants to make adjustments.
Hapner just a sophomore, so maybe that's a long-term conversation there for down the road, right? As we get Phillip rotating back in, not wearing that Libero's jersey, as Jason mentioned.
Here he is on serve. He has had a tough go of it today. Bianco across. Lanter right through the hands of Phillip.
How many different guys do you think you've called on kills at the net? Five,
six? Half a dozen,
right
in that range. And now Andrew Zimmer, who was in there, he heads out. Buskin back in. And Harvey Left that one well short. I would not be surprised also, Skinny, if at some point as this set goes along, if the margin stays what it is, if Sean Tierney doesn't get Joey Bianco out of this match and bring in Luke Voss to be the man in the middle.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to get to the 20s before he does that, but I think you're right.
Bianco sets it up, Mounty from the back.
Nice play.
Keep it alive, it did Burley. Harvey reloads for Mounty. Burley is there again. Not a 50-50. Nice play in the middle from Jacob Massey, the sophomore middle, getting some time.
And from Parker Rings. He set that as he was going into the net, and as soon as he set it, he ducked under the net. That was really well done by Rings.
Kevin Whitehead to serve. Bianco with the back tap to Maurer, and just enough to get through the hands of Massey.
I was surprised Bianco didn't turn on that one.
It was in that range that he likes to execute that dump. Maurer on. In. Burley read it wrong.
Boy, that top spin on that thing is just incredible. It's like he threw a sinker.
Elder fan base sensing the end is near, and Centerville will now use a timeout. Elder has put on a display for the ages, leading 16-7 in the third. Elder leading 16-7 in the third after winning set 1 25-5 and set 2 25-15. David Maurer out of the timeout on serve. Centerville will still have one more timeout to use at their disposal.
But Grant Hapner now sat down again by Corey Burge, and he's given him another earful.
Nice play off the serve receive, cross court, and the roll isn't there. Bianco quick in the middle to Buskin. This is Holbrook. Just long. I like that idea from Holbrook there, trying to get that back corner just a hair off. 10-point Panthers lead. And a wide serve from Maurer. He will head out. On the rotation, David Gruen will take his place back right.
But even when Centerville gets a serve back, there's little to no enthusiasm right now. And I get it. I mean, but go down swinging here.
Gruen keeps the serve of Rings up. Across the way, Lanner had to hang for it.
Oh, what a nice play by Burley.
Such a smart play from Aiden Burley. That had no right to be saved.
None. Oh, that was terrific. He had no angle at all, and the only angle he had was almost straight across the net with just a slight right to it, and he put it perfectly to save it.
That's been by far the best play, individual play of the match for the Elks.
First team All-Stater.
Rings once again, trying to get his team into double digits here. Bianco with the scramble. Here is Lanner. Phillip with the dive. Burley took a little off. Harvey was there. Lanner gets another crack at it into the tape. Not an easy spot for Bradley Lanner to come in a match that's your team's in control of. You're coming in cold. But give credit to Sean Tierney trying to feed him, get him confidence. As you never know, he may be called upon in the final against Moeller, assuming Elder is able to close this out. Phillip makes it playable for Rings, leaving it for Burley.
Oh, nice play.
Bianco down low, put it up on a tee for Lanner. What a great cut shot.
Well, that was great all the way around. Gruen with the dig, then Bianco with the perfect set, and Buskin cross court with the spike.
Bianco down in a crouch position, just put it exactly where it had to be. Now Lanner gets to try his hand at the serve. Nice play in the middle from Jacob Massey.
He's just a sophomore. Made a good read on that one.
Centerville down 18-11 in the third. Brandon Moat back in for Phillip.
Now you got Moat Massey, who just made that play, and the first team All-Stater Burley on the front line. If you're going to make a run in this one, this is when you're going to do it.
This is about as big of a front line as Centerville can throw out there, but the serve from Holbrook is too far. Will Buskin on serve. Rings to Moat. Trying to cross court and didn't catch it clean.
And a tough set, too, because Rings had to run to try to get that thing. And I think to your point on Bianco, if he was going to come out, it's going to be close to now.
Centerville will take its final timeout, possibly of its season. Elder 5 points away from a sweep into the championship. Elder 20, Centerville 11 in set 3 of what has been a one-sided affair from the opening serve. Elder racing out to 9-0 leads in each of the first 2 sets and have virtually been unchallenged by Centerville for most of the match.
Hapner rotates back in after his long talking to from his coach. I was going to see how he reacted to it. He's not going to get a chance.
See if he gets a chance here. Buskin was targeting him on the serve and just mishit it. Now Greenberg comes in up front. Massey heads out. And Owen Waller now comes in to serve. Bianco with some scrambling here. Put it in a brilliant spot for Lanner. No, it was not.
No, I didn't think it was either. Boy, Elder players were really adamant that it was. I didn't see anybody come close to really touching that.
No. Greenberg and Burley both went up to challenge
it, but I didn't think they came close to touching it.
No. Waller once more. Mounty front left and through the hands of Rings. Great hustle on the back line by Holbrook, but not enough.
Yeah, I mean, you've just gotten clobbered in 2 sets. You're down big in this set, and he goes all out for that ball. That's nice to see.
Whitehead back in as the libero on the back line for Centerville. For Elder on the back line on serve, it's Joey Bianco.
He almost cut through the net with that serve. It did. It did go under, but
he's lucky it hit the tape and not the netting itself.
Yeah, maybe getting a new net out.
Or I should say the net is lucky.
Yeah.
Aiden Burley with a chance. See if he lets one rip.
Oh, good play.
The back set, Mounty there.
Boy, Harvey made a great play of taking that serve and just bumping it slightly to Bianco for the set. Can't underestimate how good that is.
Drew Mounty. Greenberg, there you go. And a nice play on the serve received by Whitehead, set it up.
But you're running out of time if you're Centerville, quickly.
And now the sophomore Grant Hapner, who has had multiple conversations while sitting on the sideline, now has to try and come through with some kind of service run. And it's just not there. Maurer in the middle off the arm of Rings, and Elder now 2 points away from a sweep into the final where the Moeller Crusaders are waiting.
The rematch from last year.
Moeller won that match last year in the state title matchup 3-1. So Elder with revenge on its mind, assuming they get there. Holbrook, nice dig from Mounty. Bianco, unfortunately that floated and hit the chair umpire there, Richard Peck.
Good effort from Bianco to try to save it, though. Yeah, you'll have the dominance of Elder, which if they win this set, that'll be 26 straight sets they've won against a Moeller team that's shown 9 lives about 19 different times in this tournament.
Maurer with it, and now 8 match points for the Elder Panthers.
Such an intriguing final. Elder's been so dominant, and Moeller's not looked good at times, and yet they keep finding ways to win, starting with the 5-setter in the regional final, 5-setter in the quarterfinal yesterday, 5-setter today in the semi.
Just long goes David Maurer. Centerville let it go and escapes 1 match point. Power out, Gruen in, and for Centerville, Parker Rings is the last hope. Elder needed 2 tries in each of the first 2 sets to close out. Here's try number 2 in the third to finish out the match. Bianco across to Lanner.
What a way to end it. What a set, what a kill.
A complete and commanding performance from the Elder Panthers as they take set 3, 25-17, and steamroll into the state championship where the Moeller Crusaders are waiting. It is the 26th straight set win and the 8th straight match that Elder has won via the sweep. And in a match here in this one, Skinny, Centerville was just overmatched.
Yeah, and listen, they're semifinalists for a reason, but I think you saw the dominance of Elder. They feel really good about the way they're playing right now, and they should. They defend, they serve, they set, they spike, they're accurate, they kill. There's not a flaw. There's not a single flaw.
Elder wins 5, 15, and 17. They are into their 11th state championship appearance. They will take on their arch rival, Moeller Crusaders, coming up a little bit later on here today from Pick Central. That is it for this semifinal here through ESP Media. Elder with a sweep over Centerville in dominant fashion. For our ESP Media crew and my partner Richard Skinner, I'm Jason Griefer. Thank you so much for joining us. It'll be Moeller and Elder once again